Hi everybody, welcome to our second online video class for Compact First B2. Okay, now I hope you're all well. I hope you're finding enough things to do at home. Okay, so what about last class? Do you remember some of the collocations from last class? Let's go through and see if we remember any. Don't look now. Example, carry out. That's right, carry out an experiment. Prove. Prove a theory. Remember, to prove a theory. What about undo? Undo changes. And finally, attach. That's right, we attach a file to an email, for example, or you could attach a picture, an image, to an email. Lots of different options. Well, anyway, technology, it's everywhere now, isn't it? What for you has been the biggest benefit technology has brought? Have a think about that. And what maybe has been the biggest drawback? I suppose it depends on the person. I think one of the biggest benefits, obviously lots of benefits in terms of communication. We can communicate with each other much more easily. It's much more easy to stay in touch with our loved ones. I would say, on the other hand, that can sometimes be a drawback, as it's hard to find time to break away from communicating through technology to actually communicating to the people in our own sphere. What do you think? Well, today we're going to look at about how one piece of technology might be really important for you, and write an article, the sort of thing that you need to write for the B2 exam. Okay? But before we do, we're going to look at talking about reason and result. If we open our books on page 70, we have got an exercise 1, 10 sentences which are talking about the reasons or the result of actions. Okay? You need to complete the underlined expressions with the words in the box and decide which ones are the most formal. Okay? So remember how we do it. Pause the video, do the exercise, check you've got it okay, and then check with me and we'll see if everything's alright. Pause the video. Okay, so what about the first one? As a result of the extra tax, comma, the price of electronic goods went up, increased. Okay, so remember, as a result of plus noun, okay, or plus ing form. Number 2, ice occupies more space than water, and that is why. That is why frozen price is burped. Okay, that is why it's followed by a clause, a noun and a verb. 3. It would take years to reach even the nearest stars, owing to their huge distance from Earth. Okay, again, that's just followed by a noun. Okay, same as a result of, owing to, both followed by just a noun or an ing form. Owing to means like because of. Number 4. Some programs may be running slowly on account of. Another expression similar to owing to or as a result of. On account of a bug in the computer. A bug, a noun, you see. Number 5. Metal is heavier than water. Therefore, if a ship fills with seawater, it sinks. Okay, starting a new sentence there with therefore. Number 6, laptops are becoming very popular, and the reason is that you can take them anywhere. Okay, the reason is. Number 7. Now this one you might not have been familiar with. Since the tunnel is so far underground, mobile phones don't work. Since. We know since from I've lived here since 1962. But since can also have a different meaning, which is similar to because. Okay. Number 8. In view of the fact, that's right, in view of the fact hot air is lighter than cold air. Number 9, sales of cameras are falling because of, yes, because of the increasing use of phones to take photos. Because of, owing to, these are all very similar on account of. Copper is a lot cheaper than gold, and consequently it is widely used for carrying electricity. Okay, I mean, consequently, therefore, I think in these two sentences could probably be interchangeable. Okay, which ones are more formal? Well, actually most of them are quite formal. I think that is why it's probably less formal. Which other one is less formal? The reason is probably less formal. And because of. Okay, so those three. Okay. The reason is, that is why, and because of. Less formal. The others are pretty formal. Okay, so let's move on. We're going to look at writing an article. Okay. Look at the exam task here. Exam task. Okay, on page 70. Exercise 2. Look at the exam task and answer these questions. Who will read your article? Why should you write it? And what 2 things do you have to do? Okay. So, back. Good. Who will read your article? Well, an international magazine. You're writing for the readers of an international magazine. Okay. Number 2. Why should you write it? To get a prize. Okay, everybody loves a prize. And number 3, what 2 things do you have to do? Well, if we look at the exam task, it says you need to say why the thing you have chosen, why it is so important to you, and why the object or how the object could be improved. Okay, those 2 things. In part 4, we have a model answer. Okay, there's a model answer. My laptop and me. Read the article and answer these questions. Okay, so read the article. Pause, read. Good. So, is the style very formal, or very informal, or somewhere in between? Yeah, I think you could probably say it's informal, somewhere in between. Yeah, it's kind of neutral, informal. It's a bit chatty. Could you give any examples? Why? Well, I think it's very personal, for example. Any other examples? Yeah, I mean, some of the vocabulary and expressions like my lappy, meaning my laptop, that sort of thing. Which paragraphs describe the good things and which mention problems and suggest improvements? Well, clearly paragraph 2 mentions the good things. I can do lots of research, I key in my assignments. And paragraph 3 talks about a possible improvement, the battery. Okay? Now, how are readers to encourage to start and continue reading? Well, we've got a nice sentence at the start. I couldn't imagine a world without laptops. Okay? Gets you immediately, makes you want to find out why the laptop is so important. What are they asked to think about at the end? Well, this idea that maybe in the future, instead of using our fingers or whatever, we'll be able to use just our thoughts to interact with technology. Well, who knows? Okay, let's look at the text a little bit further. Can you do exercise 4? Find examples of reason or result links, lively expressions, and passive verb forms. Okay, pause the video and we'll check. Start. Okay, so result or reason or result rings. Okay, quite a few of them, but since in the introduction, and since it is so small it goes everywhere with me. Got a few others. As a result, in the second paragraph. Because of, that's right. Any others? That is why, that's right, in the third paragraph. That is why they could be even better. Another one there, for that reason. There you go, there's another expression we could use. And so on. Okay. Any lively expressions? Well, there's quite a few, but the one I mentioned at the start, I couldn't imagine a world without laptops. What about that expression, without my lappy, my life would crash? That's very, it's dramatic, so it's very lively. Or the introduction to paragraph 3. Wonderful though laptops are. Okay, a lovely expression. Okay, passive verb forms. Well, there's probably a few. I mean, there's one, I think it's they can't always be connected to the main tower, mains electricity in paragraph 3. They can't be connected because there our focus is on the object, connecting the laptops. They can't always be connected. Okay, so remember, quick steps to writing a part 2 article. Remember, try and write in an entertaining way. Okay, yeah, you don't want to bore the reader. Use some lively expressions. Give reasons for your opinion and possibly also examples. Use linking expressions, things like on the count of, this is why, in view of. Remember, this is true in general. These linking expressions are very important when we write for cohesion. Yeah, it helps the writing flow more, makes it easy to read. Also when you're speaking, of course. And the Cambridge examiners are looking for this. Finally, get readers to think about something you've written by making the ending maybe interesting or open-ended or asking a question. Okay, so just think of some ideas. Here are some ideas that you could use. Think about these questions to get some ideas for your article. First of all, which piece of technology do you know something about? Okay, what will interest your readers? Have you had any interesting experiences with this technology that you can use as examples? How might it change in the future, or how might it improve? Remember, the questions we need to include why it's important to you and how it will be improved. Remember, write your article. When you've finished, check for the usual stuff, that you've answered the question. The grammar and spelling and vocabulary is good, but it flows well. You've included some linking words to introduce reason and result. Okay, maybe you've started off well and you've organised it into 4 paragraphs and included a nice, interesting title. Okay, so we're going to stop there. Remember, my email address is on the website. Okay, do the article, post it to me. You can scan it, you can post it, you can write it on Word, whatever you like, but send it as a file to me. I shall correct it and send it back to you. Okay, so remember, keep safe, keep well. You've got lots of things, lots of time to spend at home these days, so maybe you could write an article for me. Alright, and I'll see you next week. Goodbye.